Just a couple days ago was Super Bowl Sunday. As Americans, that's a huge day.
So important.
Super important, Maya.
I mean, one of the most important days of the year.
So we want to show you exactly how we celebrate Super Bowl Sunday. Okay, the truth is, we don't care about football at all.
We haven't watched the Super Bowl in years.
So what we're going to talk about today is how cold it is outside compared to Chicago, where we used to live. We're the Youngs.
We've spent our lives traveling the world.
And in 2018, we moved from
Chicago, Illinois to
Copenhagen, Denmark.
Now we want to share with you
how our new lives abroad
Is keeping us young.
keeping us young.
are helping to keep us young. All right, welcome to Traveling Young. So we're all under this blanket
Yeah,
because it's ridiculously cold
It's a
outside.
little chilly.
it is. I have to say, you guys, this is a solid effort
It's
by
a-
Danish weather.
It's a good showing.
It is. It is
Yeah.
a good showing. Very good.
People
Very
had said when we moved here, oh man, you're in Scandinavia. It's got to be cold all the time. Like you do remember we were just in
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah, like I try to explain to people how cold it was in Chicago, and it gets even worse up in places like North Dakota and Minnesota. But I mean, in Chicago, we lived through, I think, 2 polar vortexes.
Yeah.
And Joss, I think, has some stats.
We're gonna I'll cut and show this on the desktop, but I need to be able to read it.
Yeah.
Currently at this very moment, by the way, right now it's Monday night at
Yeah.
9:22.
And they're having a polar
on
vortex now.
February 8th, maybe?
Yes, February.
Currently here in the evening time it's -3 Celsius and it feels like -10.
Yeah.
In Chicago, where it's like early evening at
Yeah.
the moment, it's not nighttime, it's -9 and feels like -9, but overnight it's going to be much colder.
Yeah.
We're going to see some -15s in there, the next day -14, and this is in Celsius.
Yes.
But there's days when we lived there where it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was minus. There were a couple days when I went to work and it was -20 Fahrenheit. And I remember one time I went to work and it had been like we had gotten quite used to the cold, and I told my dad, I looked down at my phone and I was like, oh, it doesn't feel so bad today. And I looked at my phone and it was -19. And you just
That's
get
in
used to it.
Fahrenheit.
In Fahrenheit.
We can put a translation.
Yeah.
Bing!
Yeah.
This is what it is, and I do my own sound effects now, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a cost-saving measure, but
But on top of the cold, we used to get snow. Now, this is the first winter where we've consistently had snow here in
the
Denmark.
first year we had a little bit of snow on like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, and then last year I feel like we didn't have any.
No, we didn't have any.
and I'm going to show right now because I took some video of Sommerfrislot, the day that it was
Yes.
snowing big time,
Yeah.
so I'm going to have that right now as
Yeah.
we're talking about this. So much snow.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. It was gorgeous, actually. It felt like I was back in Chicago.
Yeah.
The only other time we saw that much snow is we came here Easter in 2018 when we were looking for the house and where we were going to live.
Yeah.
And over
it
that
snowed.
weekend, it snowed big time, and it was
Yeah.
like nothing was open because it was Easter weekend. And we went to the National Museum, that was open. I guess it's not true to say nothing was open, that was open. And we had to walk there, and it was just like snow in our faces, and we're like,
Yeah.
wow, is this what it's like in Denmark? Then we got here,
And we're like,
no snow
Yeah.
until this year.
Yeah, but in Chicago, snow was off the hook. The first year that we lived there, we had 2 storms come back to back and drop 10 inches, which I think is probably
we can put another.
we can't do
Yeah.
Oh,
conversions.
yeah,
It's
inches
probably
and
like
centimeters.
20,
Yeah,
20
yeah.
centimeters. So
Well, what's the sound effect?
bing.
Okay, good, thank you.
So I think maybe like, I don't know, 30, 40 centimeters of snow probably. And you had the best time. That was the year
Yeah,
that
that
I
was
think
really
you
fun.
Actually, I feel like, let me just say, I think it would be like, we can use brisket as a measurement. I think it's like a brisket deep in snow, at least.
Oh, more. I
He
think
would
it's
just-
a couple briskets.
He would absolutely disappear if
Yeah.
we were there. We'd
Oh,
have to
yeah.
like
You'd
hold
never
him to go
make
pee.
it.
But that year I was like 7 or 8, and I remember I built this like igloo, which
Yeah.
is probably like a major safety hazard. Because it actually was like an igloo. Like there was a roof, you could sit
She dug it
inside.
out, yeah.
I used my sled as like a little door.
Yeah. And then you had,
but I lived.
You had Snow Mountain in
so
the church parking lot.
In our house in Chicago, like right down the street, there was a church and it had this big parking lot that was like empty all the time.
Yeah.
And when the plows would come through, it would always push all the snow into the parking lot. And so there would be this huge mountain of snow.
12-foot tall mound
and
of snow.
Me and my friends would go there and like sled down it and throw snow at each other and try to like walk on it.
Yeah. But hopefully I can find the picture because at some point I did take a picture during that snowstorm and there was some poor car that was outside the front of our house and like all you could see was like the very tippy top of it. So that was one big storm. And then we had a couple other big storms and hopefully Josh can show the video real quick, but I took a hilarious video of once we got dumped on with a bunch of snow and I opened up the door and I turned around to Bacon to see if he wanted to go out and
he was our previous dog.
He was not having any of it.
No. I mean, but I gotta say, this snow has been manageable for Brisket and he has loved it outside. He's been like running and jumping in the snow. He's been eating snow constantly. Yes. Thankfully, he does seem to know to not eat yellow snow. I guess it would be his own creation if it was because no other dogs out here, but he's just like cold. He just seems to really, really like the snow, so he's happy. But let's take a break for a quick minute, and because it's Tuesday, well, it's when you see this. If you watch it, it'll be Tuesday. Mm-hmm. So it's important to have. Maya was not a part of this week's Try on Tuesday.
I was not.
But Try It on Tuesday.
Yep.
Ta-da.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to another Try It on Tuesday, and this week.
Vi spiser tarteletter med grøn asparagus, hvid asparagus, hynse og gulrødder. So for the English speakers, we are having Danish tarteletters, which are very famous, and it has chicken, green asparagus, white asparagus, which is quite popular here, and carrots.
Now, I've definitely had this before because it's pretty common at the canteen, but it's good, and for the sake of the channel, I will have it yet again.
Take one for the team. Now, these are very, very similar to pot pie that we have back in the U.S. And I'm sure we're probably breaking some kind of rule. I never know when I'm supposed to use knife and a fork and when I'm supposed to eat things with my hands. So, I did make those scratch, except for the tartlets. And it is really similar to how you make pot pie, and just as good.
Nice.
Very delicious. I'm going to eat these all day.
So,
2 thumbs up.
We each have 3 because we're going to have it for dinner. But we're not going to make you watch us eat all of them. So for now, thumbs up on this guy. Definitely something I enjoy. I'm always happy when it's at the canteen. And there you go. This was a positive Try It on Tuesday experience, I think.
It wasn't snubs.
Yeah. All right. Back to the show, yeah? All right, so
we're back.
This one was a pretty easy Try It on Tuesday.
I would eat that over. In fact, I did eat it over. I had it for lunch.
Yeah, quite good. So I think Chicago was kind of this new realm of snow. I remember one time Maya and I, when it was like the worst snow.
Oh my God.
You remember we walked to this Dunkin' Donuts, which was not that far away. And it took us forever to get there. I think I have a picture of us outside in the snow while we were going, so hopefully I do, and I can show it right now. And it was just like crazy snow. It was like super deep.
I love you so much, but I don't remember why you made me walk to
It just felt like something fun to do.
Drive.
Well, I felt like if I'm going to get donuts, I got to do a ton of work to get there. We couldn't have driven there. The roads weren't even plowed yet, I don't think.
No.
But it was fun. It was an adventure. I felt like I was like climbing Everest or something, and all the snow just like, and it was like a blizzard happening at the same time.
Yeah. So we lived in Chicago for 8 years. We moved there in 2010 and lived there until 2018 when we moved here. But before that, we lived in Virginia, which is where I grew up.
Yeah.
It doesn't get as much snow as Chicago, but it did get a ton a couple times.
Yeah.
And my parents' house had they have hills on each side of the house. And when I was a kid, my dad had this rule where we couldn't go sledding on the hill if you could see grass. There had to be so much snow that there was no grass. The moment that you couldn't see the grass, we'd be out sledding on these hills. We'd build ramps. And we lived close to my parents when we were there, so Maya got to go.
Yeah, like
sledding.
I was 7 when we moved to Chicago, and we lived like right down the street from them. And I would go to their house like during the day and after school, and they would take care of me. So I spent like so much time at their house on those hills. And my best friend at the time lived like right next to them, and so we would just play in the snow together on their hill.
Yeah, I mean the snow and these hills and snowmen and snowball fights, and that's all just like a normal part of like growing up there. And this is the big thing. We did something about school, but we didn't talk about snow days and stuff. But the big thing when I was a kid, I guess, is like they'd always give you, there'd be like 3 or 4 days built into the year that if they couldn't open because of school, that it was okay. But then after those days, they'd make the school year longer because you had to be in so many. That too. But then if you're a senior in high school, they never change the graduation date. So you always hope when you're a senior that that's the year they're going to add a bunch of days that you graduate and you don't have to go any of those days.
Yeah.
And there was like a huge ice storm when I was a senior that they canceled school for so long that rather than adding days, they made every school day longer to make up for it.
Oh, wow.
So we got totally shafted.
Yeah.
Completely shafted.
But I feel like one of the best parts of like snow in America and like school days is like my school, they wouldn't tell, like, there would be all this drama, like, we would know that the snowstorm was coming, so we'd all be like, oh my god, are they gonna cancel school? Do you think they're gonna cancel it? And all the teachers would be like, no, guys, they're not gonna cancel it. And it would be the best thing when you'd wake up and your, like, mom or something would come in your room and be like, I'm on the phone, they canceled school, and you'd be like, yes!
Except I think it was a bit of a disappointment when we moved to Chicago, though, because that was, like, more of a thing in Virginia, but then when we moved to Chicago, like, you never got off of school.
Well, sometimes I did. There were a few times I did.
Twice,
but in Virginia, we lived in a county, so the schools are like managed by county. And where we lived was pretty populated, and they'd plow but there were parts of the county that were remote enough that if they couldn't plow and it wasn't safe for kids to go to the school bus and stuff, they'd cancel it. So we get the benefit of the people that lived in the county but further away when they cancel school. But that was just like, when I was a kid, like nowadays, you could probably have like, text messages to tell you. When I was a kid, we'd have to wake up, we'd stare at the news, and there'd be like the little ticker thing at the bottom, and it's like, I don't care about Maryland schools, I don't care about DC schools, get to the Virginia schools. Like, did you see it? Did you, Fairfax County, did it go?
Yeah.
And like, a 2-hour delay, come on, it's horrible out there. Because sometimes they'd have a 2-hour delay, it wouldn't cancel all day.
You're like, no!
That was just a joke. Because you'd already woke up, you'd gotten up already at that point. Like, I just want to go to sleep. That's like I'm a waste. It's just the worst.
But I feel like the cold in Chicago has really, prepared me for like any amount of cold, because now that it's not -9 here, I just like walk around in like not a big jacket. I don't even have a big snow jacket because I don't need it personally. No. And whenever I hang out with my Danish friends, they're like, okay, we're gonna go outside. Do you want to like borrow a jacket? I'm like, I have one. They're like, that's your
and it's like a fleece-lined hoodie sweatshirt.
Yeah, they're like, that's what you're wearing? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. They're like, it's like -degrees. I'm like, so it's not that cold. Yeah. It's not that cold out.
I think what's interesting, though, is when you're a little kid, it seems like you're completely immune to the cold. Yeah. I mean, I go outside with brisket now, and the temperature now is not that different than like Chicago or DC when there's snow on the ground. I'm out there for like 2 minutes. I'm like, come on, let's go in. This is horrible. No. But I remember going outside when I was a kid where my mom would have to drag us back in. We'd be out for hours sledding, and she'd be like, Josh, you got to come in. No, you're going to get sick. It's like super cold. You got to come in. But what is the one thing you have to get when you come inside after snow, Maya?
One thing you have to get, hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate.
Swiss Miss hot chocolate.
With the little tiny mini marshmallows.
Yeah, like the dried marshmallows.
Danes, you've got to get some of this.
Somehow.
When Miranda and I were in Iceland last summer, they had Swiss Miss hot chocolate in Iceland, and we bought a couple big tubs and brought it back.
Yeah, remember they texted me and I was like, bring it back!
Swiss Miss hot chocolate is just,
it's so good.
But as a kid, it'd come in these little packets, and you just like...
Yeah, we had those too. I had that too, but I like the big tub. I remember, like, the Iceland one, the tub is like, it's only like this big.
It was an okay size. It was a little bigger than that.
Yeah. But the one that we had in Brookfield, I remember it was like...
Oh my god, it was so big.
Like, we probably got it at like
Costco.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably like a drum. You could probably use it as a drum afterwards.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. So for Danes who don't know, there's a place in the U.S. called Costco, and there's also one that's similar called Sam's, and it's basically like it's called like a warehouse distribution center,
like
but it's really meant for like restaurants, I think.
I think originally, but it's like the size of a Bauhaus.
Yeah,
I'd say.
But it's food.
But it's all food mostly.
Yeah.
And most of the food, they do have random clothes and tints and like PlayStation games.
But you can buy
DVDs.
food in like serious
Huge quantities.
bulk amounts. Yeah.
They always have samples too.
I think it was originally for maybe for restaurants, but now like anybody can.
Now anybody can go.
But this isn't a Costco video.
No, it's not.
If anyone's interested in grocery stores,
well, here's the deal. I promise you, one day when we're actually able to go to America again.
Oh my God!
My parents love Costco,
Yes.
and we will go inside Costco with the GoPro, and I will we'll have a whole. You'll experience the wonder of Costco.
Yeah,
because my parents, it's like a normal. I feel it's like a thing that maybe. Well, I'm just applying this to my parents as if they're representative of all retired folks, but I feel like it's not just them. I think it's an afternoon Costco thing for retired folks, and they just love it. Anyway, we digressed into that's what happens.
I don't know what happens.
I think that's what hot chocolate can do to you.
Sorry.
So anyway, we just thought it'd be interesting to talk a little bit about some of the kind of experiences we have loving, because this is the coldest it's been since we lived here, and it's pretty cold.
Definitely. Yeah.
But this is a common winter in Chicago for sure.
Yes. This is basically
like a light winter.
Yeah. This temperature now and this weather that we're having now, this is what we would have every single day from New Year's till basically the end of February. At least.
This is like Thanksgiving weather.
Yeah,
but I mean, it would the thing is, it's snow and it'd be so cold it'd never melt. And it'd just be there, forever. Like here, I mean, like the snow's on the ground here has been here for like a week.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same way in Chicago, but it's a lot more snow and it'd be there for like months.
Yeah.
And it's just like everywhere you go.
Especially those big like snow, we called them snowbergs. So like how she was saying, we called Snow Mountain. I mean, those things, it would be like March before they'd be gone.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that the Norway, Sweden have all that.
I'm sure they do.
Of course, but in Denmark, not so much. Quite this. At least in Copenhagen, I've heard it snows a bit more in Jutland. Than it does here, but still, I'm sure it doesn't quite meet the insane amounts of snow.
I feel like you guys are pretty lucky. You have like a comfortable winter. You know?
Denmark does have a pretty comfortable winter.
It's cold, but
it's mild.
I mean, maybe this is just our Chicago opinion, but I feel like it's cold, but it's not like unbearable.
No.
And there's a little bit of snow sometimes. It doesn't stay there forever. I feel like you're in the middle ground.
But I do have to say, this is the time of year, and I've been seeing it more and more, that people go do winter bathing, and like that.
No thanks.
And so that's the crazy idea I've been cooking up lately, is maybe because she's not interested. Josh can't swim, so I've been thinking about trying winter bathing.
No.
And I don't know. Maybe.
No, that's okay.
All right. Well, I have no idea how long we've been talking, but I feel like it's been quite a while.
Yeah.
So it's a good time, I think, to say goodbye.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for watching. As always, the response to everything has been insane and phenomenal.
Amazing.
And we just can't even wrap our heads around how great everybody's been, but we really appreciate it.
Yeah, we just want to thank you guys so much for everything and all of your engagement and just liking us, I guess.
Yeah. All the comments and stuff. And we're still building our list of places to go. You guys keep adding places that we need to go, and it's just crazy.
I feel like it's just every city in Denmark at this point almost, but which is cool. We're going to go to as much as we can. Yep. But thank you. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We'd really appreciate it.
Brisket
Brisket would love it too. And there you go. So thank you from Traveling Young, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye. Bye.